So the Fallout 4 Next Gen update is out and we need to talk about it. Now keep in mind, I'm about to head out for an event, so this will be a quicker video from me. And because of that, I haven't even had the opportunity to play the Fallout 4 Next Gen update. However, I have read the patch notes and I've seen what others have been saying about the update online. It feels like there is a level of disappointment and it's definitely a mixed bag. So let's go through those patch notes and I'll talk about my opinions throughout. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more Fallout 4 content from me, please like, subscribe if you're new, with notifications if that's possible. But let's get started with those patch notes. They are titled Fallout 4 Next Gen patch notes. They do go through the Enclave Remnants, Makeshift Weapon Pack, and Halloween Workshop items again, including the, weapon skins associated with those and the quests associated with those. If you want to check those out, the link is in the description below. But I do want to focus on the patch notes specifically. So changes and new features. Native PS5 and Xbox Series applications include performance and quality mode options. Performance mode, 60 FPS target, 4K resolution, standard settings, relying on dynamic resolution scaling. Quality mode, 30 FPS, and there's an asterisk to that, I'll talk about that in a second. 4K resolution, ultra settings, should not require dynamic resolution scaling. And here's the asterisk. When connected to a 120Hz display, quality mode will target 40 FPS. When connected to a 1440p display, the title will run at 1440p resolution at 60 FPS with ultra settings regardless of rendering mode. And it's also releasing on the Epic Store. Keep in mind though, the GOG update isn't available yet if you own the game there, so you might have to wait a couple of days for that. There is also widescreen and ultra widescreen support. Trust me, we're going to be talking about issues when it comes to that. It's Steam Deck verified. Again, there are 9 free Creation Club items, and they also added in-store content menu. Now, in terms of the bug fixes, this is where a lot of the disappointment has come in, because I said this in previous videos, I was hoping for like a huge laundry list of bug fixes. This was the next gen update, right? This was announced back in October of 2022. I was hoping it would be much, much longer than this, and a lot of long-standing big bugs have not been fixed by this update. So let's go through what they actually fixed, and again, we'll talk about it later. Resolved issues preventing Japanese and Chinese users from connecting to Bethesda.net. This restores access to mods. This is huge for those players. I mentioned this before, this has been an issue for a while, so I'm glad it's fixed. Resolved issue preventing save data from properly loading during the prologue. Resolved issue that could prevent the Vault 111 door from opening on new games. Resolved issue that could prevent the quest Go Home from advancing. Resolved issue that could result in Codsworth being broken on the ground after fast traveling. Resolved issue with MIP maps in DLC. That is another big fix, a really good one to see. Resolved issue that could result in a soft lock when in dialogue with Preston Garvey. There is also a spelling mistake there. Resolved issue preventing autosaves while fast traveling in Power Armor. That's nice. Fixed issue where text would occasionally disappear in the Creation Club menu. Resolved issues with text formatting in the credits in Japanese and Chinese. Resolved issue causing the camera to fail when leaving furniture after an extended time. Fixed issue that could misplace quest markers while the VR workshop creation was installed alongside Automatron. I've seen a lot of people be appreciative of that one. Resolved issue with player movement in some underwater areas at thicket excavations. Resolved issue that could cause corruption within the settlement system, resulting in wrong resource counts and or destroyed settlements. This one was a big one, right? This is one that I believe modders also had an issue with fixing over the years, so it's good to see BGS actually fix this one. But again, there should be other fixes, and I'll talk about that in a bit. Resolved issue with the level up notification will display even if there was not a level up available. Fix some flickering in Vault 111 and stability improvements. Then for PC only, resolved issue preventing saves being made under Windows usernames with Cyrillic, Chinese, or Japanese characters. The Fallout 4 Next Gen update is not currently available on GOG, but will be available soon, as I mentioned, and they'll let us know. PlayStation only. Resolved issue that could keep the Pip-Boy light on when reading holotapes. Resolved issue that could prompt users to free up 0 kilobyte worth of space when attempting to save, even if space was available. That is a huge fix for PlayStation users. You have to give Bethesda credit for that one because it was causing so many issues. Anybody that used Creation Club items on PlayStation risked their save file being completely bricked. Actually, all of their save files being completely bricked. So it's very good to see this one finally fixed after all these years. Should have been much earlier, but it's good that it's fixed now. Fixed crash that could occur while loading a save that was made immediately before dying. Resolved issue that would prevent Codsworth from checking on Sean in the intro. And then we've got Xbox only. Resolved issue where users would not always be returned to the main menu after signing out of their profile. Resolved crash that could occur if the player had unlocked all perks. Really? Fixed lighting issue that could occur during airship down. Encountering a BNet error will now return you to the main menu instead of asking you to log in again. That's a nice change. resolved issue that could result in significant drop in frame rate when a gas canister is ignited by a Molotov cocktail. Never heard of that one before. Addressed some visual artifacts that could occur when dynamic resolution was triggered. And then finally, specifically for the creation kit, they removed non-functional hot load button. They removed non-functional material editor button. Editor IDs longer than 99 characters will no longer crash the editor. I'm assuming that's going to be good for some mods out there. Resolved crash that could occur while viewing a quest objective tab, and resolved hang that could occur while adding a reference to layer. So those were all the fixes and additions that came along with the Fallout 4 Next Gen update, but now let's talk about those issues I alluded to at the beginning of the video. First and foremost, as we all expected, this is not out of the ordinary, it always happens with a new update, but the Fallout 4 script extender currently does not work, and therefore mods that use it probably don't work either, and we'll have to wait until the script extender is updated, and then hopefully, touch wood, hopefully those mods start working again. But there is a chance some mods need to be updated further because of this update, and that's always risky because you don't know which modders at this stage have retired or not, right? Now, the Fallout 4 Script Extender team has actually given an update. I'll include that on the screen right now. And they said, update, the 2024-04-25 Fallout 4 update has broken F4SE and the rest of the native code modding scene similarly to Skyrim's Anniversary Edition patch. I'm working on an update and cannot currently offer a timeline for its availability, nor whether there will be any critical technical issues that would block an update. Do not email me with questions. So that is the update from the Script Extender team. I'm really happy that they are doing this. I'm really happy that one, they're still active, but two, they're looking to fix this as soon as they can. This is obviously in stark contrast to Fallout 3. If you remember Fallout 3, I think it was the update that removed games from Windows Live. That is actually still not working. The Fallout 3 Script Extender is not working, and you have to use a downgrader to be able to use it because those modders have actually long retired, right? They never ended up fixing it. So we need to count ourselves lucky that this team behind the Fallout 4 Script Extender is still active and they're still working on fixing it. And again, hopefully your mods just start working again if you happen to update. I'm also going to assume as well that some modders are out there are going to introduce a way to downgrade this update and make it really easy for you, just in case you do regret your decision and you still want your old mod files and save files to be working. But at least this is going to be fixed sometime soon. I'm surprised that it wasn't almost immediately, because I thought Bethesda Game Studios would have got them under NDA and assisted them with getting the script extender out as soon as possible. I think they've done that before with Skyrim, right? So I'm surprised they haven't done that again with the Fallout 4 script extender. However, at the very least, hopefully it gets fixed pretty soon. Now, let's talk about some of the issues with this Fallout 4 Next Gen update. Widescreen support. This was like the big fix, the big change that was going to be added to the PC version. Consoles are getting a lot more, but at least with PCs, getting widescreen support natively in the game was something that everybody was looking forward to. However, I'm looking at this image, and I'm going to include it on the screen right now. There are issues with this widescreen support that they've included. You can see that the user interface is really stretched across the screen, and it just does not look good. And essentially, you're probably going to have to use a mod to fix it again, like we've always needed to when it came to widescreen support. This was actually included on Reddit from a user called Exotic Length 9340, and they say ultra-wide support is just a stretched out UI and no FOV slider to compensate for width. So this is not a good implementation of widescreen support. Really disappointing. There's no other way to put it. This was, again, one of the big fixes for PC, and this wasn't even implemented properly. So you're probably going to have to be using a mod anyways, and I don't know if those mods rely on the script extender. So if you haven't updated yet and you use a widescreen monitor, I would suggest that you don't and just wait just to make sure everything is good. But let me know in the comments below if those mods actually do require the script extender. And then we've got the next big issue, that frame rates still aren't unlocked in Fallout 4. Fallout 76 fixed this issue. If you remember, if you tried to play the game above 60 frames per second, lots of physics issues, lots of other timing and pacing and speed issues. That was fixed years and years ago, right, for Fallout 76, because everybody complained. Still to this day, still even with the Fallout 4 Next Gen update, it hasn't been fixed with Fallout 4. Yes, there are mods that do this, but this is part of the issue. The Next Gen update was meant to be fixing things like this. This was a bare necessity in my opinion. But still now, with this next gen update without mods, if you try and play the game over 60 FPS, you're probably going to have issues. So if they could fix Fallout 76 so quickly, I'm just very surprised. I'm assuming it's the same fix, right? So I'm very surprised that Fallout 4 can't just get the same or similar fix. So that is definitely disappointing. And then let's get to the bug fixes. As I said before, I believe this bug fix list is really short. I was hoping for something much, much longer, and there are still some big, long time standing bugs in Fallout 4 that continue to exist even after this next gen update. And in my opinion, some, if not all of these, probably needed to be fixed with this kind of update, especially because we've been waiting for it for so long. Number one, the weapon debris bug for NVIDIA cards. I can't believe this hasn't been fixed, right? If you still try and use weapon debris with an NVIDIA card today, and a lot of us do, a lot of us have newer NVIDIA cards, your game will simply crash. As soon as you try and shoot, your game is just going to crash. And I can't believe they haven't fixed this. As I said, so many people use new NVIDIA cards. And what if they want to use this fancy weapon debris feature? It's just going to break. It's just going to, crash your game. I can't believe this one, of all things as well, hasn't been fixed. So that is number one. Number two, the loading screen bug. So loading screens are very slow on PC for some players, even with an SSD, because it's tied to FPS. And you have to use a load accelerator with the previous version of the game to uncap the frame rate during load screens so that your load screens aren't so long. However, with this next gen update, because it's still capped to 60 FPS, there's no unlocked frame rate, it's still going to have very slow load screens right at the bat. So you're still going to have to be using the load accelerator. This is why I was hoping that also they had an uncapped frame rate, or at the very least fix this loading screen issue, because they can become so long on PC. And I'm hoping that the load accelerator still works. I saw some people say that it still works. I actually think the modder came out after 2.5 years and said, I think it still works. And again, this just emphasizes the risks of updating an old game like this, where a lot of the modders are probably retired and have stopped modding and have moved on to other things. I'm just glad that people like the Load Accelerator mod creator are still kicking around, but hopefully a lot of other mods out there that need updating can be updated with modders coming back. Not all of them are going to come back. That's something that we're going to have to accept, but I'm hoping a good chunk of them will, especially with the hype of the Fallout TV show and all that kind of stuff. And there are other issues as well that I've seen people post about. The perception bug in survival mode still isn't fixed. The Windows resolution scaling bug isn't fixed still. So unfortunately, as you can see, there are a lot of long-standing bugs and issues in Fallout 4 that simply have not been fixed or addressed by this next-gen update. And guys, you know me, I'm so positive on this channel. I try to remain as positive as I can. I'm constantly giving Bethesda their kudos and their props when it's deserved, to the stage where I receive a lot of flack and criticism for doing so, and that's fine, it comes with the territory. However, even me in this instance, I can't help but feel a little bit disappointed with how short in particular that bug fix list was, and I understand why people online are so disappointed by this update. We were hoping for more. We were waiting again for this thing since October of 2022. It's been over 1.5 years now, a long time. Plus as well, they called this a next-gen update, and that means something. It matters, especially when you compare that phrase and that title to other next-gen updates that other games have received. Comparing this one to those, like Cyberpunk or whatever it might be, you can't help but feel a little bit disappointed. You can't help but feel a little bit let down. Yes, there is every chance that BGS continues to update Fallout 4, especially now that it's active and there's a lot of other players, and hopefully they see our feedback and criticisms when it comes to this next-gen update. But I thought they would come out of the gate a little bit stronger than this. I thought some of those big bugs would be fixed, but unfortunately, they are not. So what do? I guess we start using mods again. And even as well, this update has introduced some new issues too. I've seen people talk about issues with crashing. I've seen people say the makeshift weapons pack, for instance, is actually bugged and the weapons are invisible. And apparently existing mods on console might be having some issues. But I'll still say, for console players, this is absolutely worth it to get the next-gen upgrade, to get, proper frame rate, proper quality and performance mode. For you, that's really good. I think where a lot of the issues and criticisms comes with PC players, because all we were really getting were those Creation Club items, widescreen support, which is having issues as I mentioned, and then all of these bug fixes. Again, there are some nice bug fixes in there, right? And you have to appreciate that. However, a lot of other ones like the weapon degree crashing bug and all that kind of stuff, we were hoping that those would be fixed, and maybe we need to make a lot of noise now so Bethesda see it, because they weren't going to fix it before because the game wasn't really being played by a lot of people. But now, with the hype of the TV show, with the hype of Fallout 4, so many people are playing Fallout, and they just released an update that also introduced some new issues. If you let them know now about these issues that haven't been fixed, maybe there is a good chance they'll fix it in the coming weeks or months, right? So for PC players, do I recommend that you upgrade? If you are not using mods, sure, upgrade. Enjoy the new Creation Club items and the fixes that they've introduced, especially that settlement fix, that's a big one. However, if you have existing save files that use mods, if you have existing mods and you just want to use your current version of the script extender, I would suggest not updating or figure out a way to downgrade. I'm hoping modders figure out a way to make that easy for everyone. But anyways, Wastanders, that's all from me. I'm sorry for the quick and rushed video. Let me know if you enjoyed it. And until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourselves, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.